And remember, the world is better with you in it.
September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters. And my name is Tom, and I'm your host. And as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all, Nick or Trish.
And
J-Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
And welcome back. We've got another fun-filled episode for you all, if that's what we want to call it. I am just letting everybody know, functioning like maybe 30%.
I would say you're at like a solid 65.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take it. Because
You're being generous.
I
but
am.
okay.
it's good for my ego. No, it's been a very interesting weekend, to say the least. We here in
long weekend.
very long. So in New Haven, or in Connecticut, the New Haven Pride Center had their annual Pride Festival on Saturday. And Nick and I met up. We went, we hung out, we got rained on, we held on to dogs.
I would definitely say we got misted on, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up holding Delilah and Samson, two dogs, because the guy said, hold my dogs.
And he didn't even recognize who you were.
No. And
you know his dog's names.
Yes.
Like, weird.
I was like, well, I sort of kind of have a bone to pick with him.
the
I just didn't
nerve
want to
of
do
her.
it there in front of that lady that had the booth. So it was a whole bunch of booths, and we happened to be under the booth for this new veterinary clinic that's going to open up in downtown New Haven. And so he walks over and asked her, out of all people, who was working the booth, to hold the dogs. And I was like, I got it. Go do what you got to do. So I'm holding the dogs, and I know the dogs, and I know him, but he didn't recognize me. And the reason why I know him is because he has a bad habit of going to the bars, and he leaves both dogs in the car all the time. And that shit pisses me off.
Must be the Ozempic.
So I think you're right.
She's looking thin. They can't recognize her already. Watch out.
But anyway, and so yeah, people, don't do that. Don't leave your dogs in the car. That's not nice. It's leave
That
them home.
motherfucker was like, oh, is this your new...
I was like, no, bitch, that is
Like,
not. This is my
referring to
friend.
me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I am an old friend. That's a no.
That's a hard
and,
no. But
and if I see your dogs in your car again, I'm breaking the window.
yeah, no, I was just like, I mean, they're cute dogs and they're quiet, they're well behaved, but still, it's like, don't bring them with you if you're just gonna lock them up in a car while you go in a bar. He doesn't even
Speaking of
drink.
mangy, he's kind of mangy.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope he's not a listener.
So, well, if he is now, you know.
Probably doesn't even remember his dog's names.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like. A lot of people have commented. You realize he leaves his dogs. I was, yeah, I see them in the car all the time. And usually it's at night. Okay, fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's out and about. But
And we think you're codependent.
oh, let me tell you. But anyway, so the New Haven Pride Center had their Pride Celebration festival on Saturday. It was a very beautiful event, very well attended. A lot of vendors. I think the Pride Center, by the way, was my first time in the Pride Center since they moved. Looks amazing.
Yes,
It's a
it does.
beautiful space. And it was good energy. The rain happened, but people weren't really deterred by it. And overall, it was great.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. It was good. I'm proud of everybody who put it together.
Right.
And this year, I think we actually are going to end up raising money instead of not.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, it's good. I mean, it was beautiful. Absolutely. And then, of course, because it just doesn't end there, I met up with this one afterwards.
It
and
ended there for me, honey.
It did. She went home.
She called it quits early. She can't hang, and I'm the old one.
Telling you. So I went out with this one, and we met up with some friends, and we drank.
And we drank some more.
and then it was rough,
And then we drank some more.
and it got rough.
And then we went to the bar next door, and then as soon as I walked in, their system crashed.
Oh, I heard about this.
This
What a
so
shit
they were
show.
having a huge leather event,
Yeah, with
and their
Mr.
register,
Connecticut Leather, yeah.
their register went down, and so I'm like, but I have cash. He goes like, I don't want to talk about it, and I'm like,
Okay.
my God, are you that flustered? We
I mean,
can't
I
open the
would be.
register. I'm like, pull the register up, and there's a latch on the bottom that opens the drawer. You just have to stick your finger in it. I'm sure you know how to do that.
Yeah, I think they were did you see the amount of cards that they had in their hands?
Oh, I know,
It
but
was
still,
like a
it's
deck
like
of playing cards. They had like 50 credit cards.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a
So
huge event.
So they were pissed because they had to close all of those accounts out in order to try and reset the whole system. But people were like, "We have cash," and they're like, and I kind of get it because they were basically manually cashing people out.
so the whole bar
So,
left.
yeah. So
Like
the place
everybody-
emptied out in a matter of 5 minutes.
And
Wow.
everybody ended up at Partners, and then we were there, and oh my God,
I heard you guys went through it.
I went there, and
We had a
then
good time.
so then Sky Casper, who we've had on the show, decides that he's gonna do like a Pride day drinking celebration with like 6 DJs and drag queens and performers. It was really cute. It was very well done, as I wouldn't expect anything less from him because he really does really good organizing parties. And so I went day drinking on Sunday. And then I was like, all right, I got to go home, feed my dogs, take care of business, and then I got to go to work tonight. I got here, I took a nap, and I woke up at 8:45 freaking the fuck out because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be late to work. And then I got to work, I was like, I can't even drink anymore. Like at this point, I cannot.
I think the worst thing you did was take a nap.
Oh, I
Yeah,
had
After
to.
day drinking. You can't.
You got to power through. Otherwise, like,
Yeah.
I can't power through anymore, but
Girl.
I did. It was a rough weekend, so that is
I just fall
why.
asleep.
Yeah.
I
So this is why I am operating at what Trish says, 65% today.
Me.
I said 35, but she kindly adjusted it, so I'll take it.
Well, let's happy medium. I'll say 45.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
take it.
that
I'll
sounds
take it.
better.
Hey, listen, no argument from me.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was good. How are you boys? Jay, how are you?
Good.
Are you alive?
I'm alive.
That
Are you
text
feeling-
message the next morning.
Yeah.
He's alive. I was like, what's that mean?
She's alive. Yeah. Well, yeah. By the time I got home after pizza on Saturday night
Mm-hmm.
and hanging out with the boys at the pizza place, and
We were eating pizza off the hood of his car.
off the hood of my truck.
That checks out.
Yeah. So I got to bed like at 4 a.m. and then the next morning I got to get up to go get mom. So
It was crazy.
it was, yeah. I mean, it was a long night, but I don't do it often, so I enjoyed it. Run into a few faces I haven't seen in a while. My buddy Antonio was down from, or Tony, I shouldn't say Antonio, right?
Yeah,
Tony was down from Hartford, and
he's a hoot.
yeah,
I
he
love
hung
him.
out with us. I love him to death. He's a sweetheart.
Oh, we drank.
We
we
drank, and then met the boys and the Miguels.
Miguel Squared.
As Miguel, as Tony's name, the Miguel Square. We're there, and it's their anniversary today. So
Right.
happy anniversary.
So they're both named Miguel, and they're
Yeah,
married.
and they're married. So
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
That's so difficult.
I don't know
Yeah.
It's
if I
like
could
me
do it.
finding a boyfriend that's named Tommy
Yeah,
or
like-
you, Nick.
Yeah, no.
yeah, the Miguels. Everybody says the Miguels.
The Miguel. It sounds like a disease.
But yeah,
Wait,
so
aren't they? Don't they have an OnlyFans?
Yes, they do.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, they paid for a lot of trips like that, and
Not
got
interested.
their vehicle, and
Hey, listen, you
you
do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You do what you
See,
gotta
but
do.
the thing is, from what I know, they were doing OnlyFans before OnlyFans became a thing.
Well, COVID made OnlyFans a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they were pre-COVID OnlyFanners. OnlyFanners.
OnlyFanners. That
All
sounds
right.
like somebody that
Yeah.
sits on a chair and fans people's penises.
All right.
That's just dedication.
Yeah, but they're young and they're good looking and
Watch
they have
out, the
nice
IRS will
bodies
get
and
you.
No
Wait,
judgment.
who are these
Yeah.
people? Why do I not know them?
Well, one of the Miguels was a student of mine when I used to work in the high
Why
That's
doesn't
awkward.
that surprise me?
and he kind of sort of hung out with me a lot and kind of stayed at my house for a while. he also he's really good friends with Ricky.
That doesn't
Mestry?
help me.
Ricky
but-
Mestry?
Mestry. So we've
Did Ricky win?
No.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's everybody's reaction because apparently when they announced the winner, changing subjects, we're talking about Mr. CT Leather. Apparently nobody cheered. So I don't know.
That sounds like what happened at prom when my sister didn't get prom queen, and the girl that did was counting the ballots.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Awkward.
Yeah, so it is what it
So-
is, but
Those are the two Miguels.
Yeah.
Don't know him.
yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, no, Ricky didn't win, and it was quite disappointing because I know he does a lot for the community, and he's always, trying to help other people, and I think that he would have done a really great job at
does a lot.
representing the organization.
He shows up for. If you invite him, he'll show up. He's been everywhere.
So he's not like me.
No,
No.
he shows up. He shows up. He does. He supports everybody in the leather community, in the pup community, and drag community. And he's an artist, and he's always sketching something out and
I mean,
doing some sort of fundraiser. So
I probably would have tried to be more engaged that evening, but I was so burnt out from last week. Last week was tough.
I can imagine. I mean, it was a tough week. I went into the office 4 days.
Yeah. Well,
it was rough for her.
Oh, it was. It
no,
really
I mean
was.
So last week my my coworker's husband passed,
Oh, that's right.
and
That's right, yeah.
I found a way to get her out of the office for like 2 weeks, so she's not back until next week.
That's good.
And so it was just like a lot that fell on my plate. And then on top of it, positive things. Somebody at my job was let go, thank God. And then there was Pride on Saturday, but the night before Pride, I had a gala to go to. And I was just like, after Pride, I was like, she done.
She's
done.
done. She's going to go turn into a hermit, sink into her sofa, and then that's it.
Yeah.
World's over.
I think you're too young to be as a homebody as you are.
I mean, yeah, probably, but I just get burnt out from
To
people.
be so sofa-ish, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah, but it's just
bitch is
like- Yeah, but I get peopled out, dude. Like
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like I'm
Right.
peopled
I get
the
it.
fuck out.
I just think for your age you should be out a little later.
Yeah. Put yourself out there a little bit more, girl.
How are you gonna
I'm
get
going on a
married
date
if you
next Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. Okay.
Do tell.
Do tell.
No,
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I mean I will next week.
To be continued.
Fine.
I will next week.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I've been talking to
Local?
this person, sort of.
Of course.
Westport.
You're not moving to Westport.
No.
Staying, You're going to have to buy a house in Bridgeport.
No.
No.
Maybe Black
Damn.
Rock, okay?
Black
Black is actually very nice.
or your thing.
It's
Yeah.
very bougie.
But I'm excited. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes of it.
So awesome. So, all right. Well, we've got a couple of things that we want to talk about, obviously. But what are we doing?
I'm
What are we
not
doing?
done.
Well, what do you got?
So
So,
Jay supported me, and I appreciate Jay.
supported you in what?
I got the anal glass dilation kit.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. Okay, so you did get the anal dilation kit. Which size did you start with? Did you immediately go to the large?
No, actually, I did the small one first.
Okay.
And I was like, whoop. So,
So you don't know where it is.
oh no, I know where it is. And then,
She knows exactly where it fell out.
and then I did the medium. I have not used the large one yet, but it is quite nice.
Well, that's great. So you. So he ended up telling us. Obviously, you said on the show that you had ordered it and you were waiting for the glass anal dilation kit,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh Lord! And then we started on the whole thing, and I'm
Yeah.
like, so if you take it out and it's got streaks on it, do you throw it in the dishwasher?
It's
and,
glass. You just clean it.
yeah, I know. I'm messing with you. I was
But it was
being
funny
facetious.
because the same day that I received it, my old roommate Pat got engaged, and so he sent me a picture of a ring, and I sent him a picture of my anal glass dilation kit. And he was just like, "I fucking can't with you."
Oh Lord.
But honestly,
It looks nice. The picture, they look really nice.
yeah, it's really nice. They are so how do I say this?
Smooth.
Yeah,
like butter.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you feel like your hole is being taken care of.
So here's the thing. So I said, let me guess. So you're gonna try these out, and you have nobody to come over afterwards and
I'm gonna try it out before I try it out
and pound you out.
Yeah, but
the whole point of the plugs is to kind of get you ready for when you're getting ready.
Also, I know a lot of
but you don't do that 2 weeks before.
No, but I also know a lot of people that just like
enjoy playing with
or having having a plug. Like I was like, I'm watching a TV show.
Yeah, but
you sat and watched the TV show with the plug in you.
Yeah.
Oh,
so every time you shifted and you moved,
you could feel it.
Hello. What was I wearing on Saturday night?
You were wearing, I don't know, what were you wearing?
Cock cage?
The cage, yeah.
Yeah, but the cock cage,
same shit.
Does that have something stuck up your butt?
No, but it's the same.
It's pretty much on the same side. It's the restriction of it, wearing it.
It's like a sensation thing.
It's a sensation. It's all mental. It helps you prepare.
I mean, I couldn't like go to a bar with that in me, but
Why not?
that's the one. No, that's the one thing I will say about them. They're great, but like because they're glass, they come out very easily. So like you wouldn't be able to like walk around with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but it's the way they're shaped as well.
There's no like
because some plugs kind of have a wide base as they go in, so I don't think it'll pop out as easy.
Right.
As those are more penile.
Look, I have no shame.
Listen to you, but in the words of the great, Leslie Jordan, it's every trash can has its lid.
This is bitch.
Whether it's a cock cage.
You really want to talk about trash can and lids?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the fucking window during COVID? Do you want to talk about your glory hole sheet?
That's for one.
Do you want to talk about Wisteria Lane?
Wisteria Lane?
we can talk about the glory hole. It's for one person and one person only.
That's what she says.
And then these people be thinking that I have like randos come up in my home and like
Oh my god, we also need to talk about sniffies. So did you know what it was?
I had no idea.
No. Okay. All right.
I had no idea.
So this is like the second conversation that it's come up.
Did you look it up?
No, I have not.
Okay.
You have to go to Sniffies.
It's supposed to, you got to like thousands of dick pics from what I hear.
Well, it's a geographical map of dicks.
Yeah. And it's like
Tony, Tony was talking about it at the bar on Saturday.
Craigslist on crack.
On crack, yeah.
So I was watching a gay comedian, and he brought up, what, like ranking the gay dating apps in order of like filth.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, and the basest of base is Sniffies. And I was like, what the fuck is Sniffies? So of course I look it up. I go, and I don't think they have an app, but they have
they do.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. But like you can go on the web browser or download the app. And it's literally like the basest of gay cruising. It's like I'm literally behind a dumpster at Wendy's.
So the only thing is though, on the app you can't show your penises like this.
You can, but you have to not do the anonymous one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So when we were at the bar Saturday, our friend Tony was telling us about Sniffies. So it's weird because here it is again.
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But like, there are some like, I mean, there are definitely some that I would be like, I'm not going to say no to that.
Yeah, no, but
like, it's so gross.
From what he was telling me is that he lives in the Hartford area. He says there's tons of married dudes on that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Tons.
Yeah.
He goes, when I hankering to see some dad cock.
Go into the messages, like the thread.
Yeah.
No. So what I wanted to show you was like, for example, when you go near the pilot pen, the pilot
the truck
rest
stop.
the truck stop.
Yeah.
There is a whole like room that you can go into, right? And you see the truck thingamajiggy. And people post messages on there. I'm here at the pilot pen. Anybody here sucking or anybody here?
Yeah.
I was like,
it's like you go on Sniffies, you find yourself behind a Wendy's dumpster getting railed.
And so 5 days ago, this one user posted, he goes like, to the older hung black guy I just sucked in the bathroom. Thank you, daddy.
Oh,
I swear to God, it's just
like so. Like the moral of the story is no shame. I love your game, but it's just not my game.
oh my God, it was.
And for anyone under 18 listening to the show, 1, you shouldn't be. 2, don't go on Sniffies because you'll get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depends on your
Bring
definition.
your ID.
Depends on your definition of trouble.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. So that you mentioned Sniffies, but
Well, you said like, well, what are you gonna do after you use your anal gloss dilation kit? I was like,
she went on Sniffies. I wonder why they called it Sniffies.
So, okay, so I found something out about them.
Okay.
So originally, Sniffies was an underwear trading app.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like people that have like underwear kinks or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So like you sniff, I guess, sniffing the underwear. And so originally that's what it was for. You would go on and you would trade underwear with people, which I was like, that's one thing I've never heard of before. But I mean, it makes sense for the name.
Every trash can has its lid.
Mm-hmm. Every app has its lid too, I guess. Every dumpster fire, you know.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
They really should probably call it dumpster fire because
Yeah. No. So on the app, you wouldn't be able to see all those dick pics like that. Like
no, you can, but you just you can't go in anonymously. So you have the option to like make a profile or go and view
No,
anonymously.
but Apple, if the app is on Apple, Apple will not allow you to post pornographic pictures that are public like they do here.
Right. So
you
then
can't
just
do
use
it
the
on
web browser.
Grindr. You can't do it on Grindr. You can't do it on Scruff and none of these. They have to be private photos that you send and share privately.
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
you can't have like a
Then
cockpit
then why
as your
can
profile
you do
pic.
it on their browser?
Because a browser's a browser, right? A browser is
Can't
different.
regulate the browser like
Exactly.
you can an app.
Right. So part of the terms and conditions for having an app on the Apple platform is that you cannot have any pornographic stuff.
Paraphernalia.
So this guy that I have a date with next Sunday.
Okay.
So,
Was he on Sniffies?
No, but
That's where she found her.
we've been talking for a while.
Okay.
And I don't know why I was like, do you know what Sniffies is?
And what'd he say?
He was like, no, what's that? I was like, look it up. And then he responds like right away. He's like, are you on it? I was like, God, no.
What is he gonna think of you, Nick?
That's what. Well, he knows me really well. I've known this guy for years. So I've known him since I was at Long Wharf.
Okay.
For a long time, he moved away and he moved back to the area, and ever since he's been back, we've been chatting.
Okay.
And he finally was like, "Can you just go on a date with me?" And I was like, "Okay."
Okay, I like this. Okay, I like this. I like where it's gone because they know each other.
Yeah,
And this is not no rando that then, ghosts you after like visiting you at the fucking theater.
Mm-hmm.
Like for real. Does he listen to the show?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I hope not. I don't think things through.
Oh God, no! It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense,
And his name is not Steven.
which is great.
Yeah.
Or
That's a
Stefan,
plus.
And he's older. He's a little bit older than me.
which is great because you need stability in your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm pretty stable, but
Not without the Ritalin.
it's not Ritalin.
Well, whatever it is.
And you're not wrong. Did I tell you that story?
No.
Oh God, I'm just like unloading today.
Yes, go for it. This is like therapy.
I was
a
at
lot of people
work-
don't
I was
realize
at-
it's like therapy.
I was at work. What was it? Last week or the week before? No, it wasn't last week. It was the week before because Angela was there, and Angela was sitting in my office. She's like, "You don't seem okay." I was like, "Yeah, my medicine is back ordered," and she's like, "Oh." And so she's like, I've dealt with this one time before, and it's not fun. You're gonna be like unproductive. Like it's really bad. Like you're all over the fucking place right now.
I
And
feel
then
like she
like the
was
next
projecting.
day, it finally got filled, and she came. So we have a morning check-in. Usually it's like half hour. And she came into the office, and like one of her first questions was, "Did you get your meds?"
Which is important. That's a very important question.
Well, I mean,
Right?
like, if it's that bad that when I'm off it, you're like, "Ooh, girl."
I don't think I've ever experienced you off your meds. I just see you. I just know what you look like in the morning.
Yeah. No,
That's
you
about it.
probably have seen me.
Not a
off my
bad look.
meds. Sometimes it can be.
Oh, girl. She looked like. So have you seen the new commercial for that phone company? What is it? It's not T-Mobile. It's they're
Boost.
boost, and he's like, I want you to like create an ad or a gimmick in the store to make it, like what is it, hassle free or something. But he misunderstood, so he has this like glass cube with the phone in it and a snake. And the guy walks in and is like, why is there a snake next to this phone? He goes like, because you said to make it, like danger free or something, dangerous or whatever. He goes like, no, it's like hassle free. He's like, oh, okay, so then let's just take the phone. It doesn't belong in there. And when he touches it, the snake bites him, and then he just swells up as they're talking. And the other coworker comes and like, oh my God, it was nice meeting you.
So what
like,
he's trying to get at for everyone,
she's puffy.
I get puffy in the morning.
Yeah, it's like a snake bitter all over.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. But then to see the
it's worse. It's worse. Like, he's seen me on days where I've had to stay over. Like, because I couldn't drive. So it gets worse if I drink.
So, but the impressive thing is, right? The impressive thing is to see the transformation, like how significant the transformation is from like 1 hour to the next. It's like he walks in, he throws water on his face, he brushes his teeth, does what he needs to do, puts on his eye patches, does whatever he needs to do. And then seconds later, it's like the screen flips and it's like, oh, wow, it's intense. It's fabulous.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken
like,
it's taken me years to perfect, but.
So I feel that, like, for example, when you finally buy your own home, like, I predict that you're going to have an ice maker in your bathroom. Like Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest, he'll have a tray of ice that he's going to pull out and literally just dump his face in there every morning. Like, I think that...
I don't need to do that, though.
I don't know. Well, I just think that maybe that's an option.
I mean, yeah, but they got creams and shit for that now.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, I think your bathroom is going to be legit, like, the bomb.
Oh, well,
like, you're going to have Bondo kits all over the place.
Ever since Pat moved out,
So
it's a Jack and Jill bathroom. And so in my room, I have a vanity with a sink. And then in the Jack and Jill, there are 2 sinks. And each sink now has its purpose. And like, it's like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I start here. And this is my shaving sink.
Which one is that one?
The one all the way, the furthest one from my bedroom.
Okay. And then the other one is?
Moving into the other one that is generally like toothbrushing, paste, like flossing, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And then the one in my room is like the Bondo kit.
You're worse than a drag queen.
Yeah, well, it takes a village, man. It's just my own fucking village.
I fucking love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, good for you. Good for you. It's healthy. Yeah, and stay out of sniffies. All right. Well, that being said, okay. Well, listen, we're half hour in already. Wow, time flies when you're on Prozac. All right, so we're gonna take a break, and we will be right back. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back. We are back from our break. We are refreshed and all those things. Although I am not as refreshed as Nick because I could not
participate in the board meeting.
I could not. I just can't.
You had a board meeting?
Yeah, well, you were watching fucking videos.
All by himself. Oh, man.
All by myself.
Don't want to be.
Actually, I do. Me and my hermit ass.
Oh, it is. All right, well, listen, we've got some business to take care of, but before we move on to some of the stories that we have lined up for you, I want to remind everyone that Election Day is literally 6 weeks away. November 5th, a little, I would probably say 7 weeks. So, I hope that everyone has a plan. I know that for one, one of the things that I like to do when critical elections or when any election happens really is to make sure that, my registration is up to date and that, I go and I check, are you registered? Do you have options? What are your options in your state? Can you vote by mail? Do you want to vote in person? Have a plan because...
Did I miss the primaries?
Girl, that happened like...
I already did that. I voted for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's always good to just have a game plan. So, for me, it's, if you're in Connecticut, make sure that you go. check your registration status, make sure that you're registered to the right party. If you are someone that, for example, like Chris, is an independent and you want to vote, in primaries, you do realize they have to switch parties, right? Go from an independent to a Democrat to be able to vote in the Democratic primary, and then put yourself back as an independent, whatever the case may be. I don't think that's the case in the general
No, not in the
election. You can pretty much just go and vote.
You don't have to be registered for any party, but primaries, at least in Connecticut, you have to
Right.
be.
But just make sure you have a plan, because I can't express enough the importance of this upcoming election.
So what I've been, it's that time of year.
Uh-huh.
I have to go to a lot of events.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been really thrilled about is that even at like certain things like galas and shit,
Yeah.
there's always a registration table. Like,
Which is great.
yeah, no, like you should, like, whenever you have the opportunity, have one available, because gerrymandering bullshit, all this, whatever, people don't have access to like what they need to actually register. They don't have the information they need. They don't know where to go. So if you make it easier, then all of these people that are turning 18 this year, motherfucker, and anybody that isn't registered, register.
Right. And I can't stress how important this election is going to be. We're on the cuff of tomorrow is going to be the first, and what is likely to be the last debate between the two contenders for each party. One is, of course, he who shall not be named, and then of course Kamala Harris. And I think that Mamala, and I think that overall, she was a prosecutor. She's been a senator. For those who have been following her career, how vicious she can be when interrogating and throwing questions. And
kind of like you.
Yeah, she can handle herself. I don't think she's going to have a problem tomorrow. We shall see how everything, pans out, as the debate approaches. But I wanted to sort of kind of throw that out. Just make sure you have a game plan. So Jay, what's your plan? Do you have a plan?
He lives in Bridgeport. It doesn't count.
Yeah, it does. You have a plan?
For election night?
Yeah, for voting.
He's on Sniffies.
Are you on Sniffies?
No.
Damn. So
He's like, for what?
For what? No, I'm just messing with you.
he's
messing with you. Yeah, I mean, usually I'll go first thing in the morning.
Right.
Because it's at Central High School, which is like 4 blocks from my house.
But are you planning on checking your registration status to make sure that
I go to all the elections, so I know I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just double check.
Yeah.
What about you, Trish? What is your plan?
I'm going to vote.
Which is great.
I don't need a plan. I have a plan. I'm going to go and vote.
Which is wonderful. Are you voting in the morning? Do you prefer to vote in the morning, first thing in the morning, midday, evening? Like, I prefer first thing in the morning. There's less lines.
Yeah.
I like to go like in the window between lunch and end of day, because like right after lunch, around like 1:30, 2 o'clock,
Okay.
there aren't really many lines.
Which is great. And you're voting in New Haven?
I vote in New Haven at the firehouse
Oh, okay.
by my house.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Which is great. And, and for those of you out there that are in critical states that are currently, practicing or putting in place, things to make it that much more difficult, like not being able to be offered a bottled water while you're waiting in long lines to vote, have a game plan. Do what you got to do. But it's coming. It's coming quick. And I can't stress enough how critical it is. And we just need to make sure that we don't become complacent.
Why do you feel the need to check your status? Like, you're fine. Once you're registered, you're good.
I'm neurotic like that because...
But, like, it's not like it's going to go away.
Well, see, in Connecticut, that's not a thing. But if you start looking at some of the stuff that they've been doing, for example, in Georgia, or some of the things that they were trying to do where Republicans had control of both houses, legislature.
So, basically, it's a PSA.
Yeah. Just if you live in one of those states that currently has, or they're trying to implement laws that make it that much more difficult for you to vote, make sure that you check, because they're taking registration rolls and just dumping people who they believe are not up to date or not current, don't have the necessary information. I can't tell you how many freaking people that, for example, in Georgia, they dumped off the voter registration rolls, which is why.
Well, let me say that if you find yourself in a situation where that does happen,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have to wait. But you could always go to City Hall, Town Hall, whatever it is,
Right.
and get re-registered and still vote.
Of course. Also, and at least I know in Connecticut, if you get to the polls and they can't find you on any of their lists, you can ask for a provisional ballot.
So that happened to me one time. I think it was the first election.
Right.
I think it was Trump v. Clinton. And I went and they didn't have my name and I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then I had to go down to
City Hall.
City Hall, and I was there for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right.
But I voted.
Right, which is great. So just make sure that you know what your options are. It's critical. It's coming. We'll probably be talking about it, as the weeks get closer to Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
We have yet to decide whether we're going to be doing anything.
We probably will.
But I will tell you, for those of you that are listening, the app Ballotix, make sure that you download it because we're going to be posting on our social media what we predict, or at least I will. I encourage that you guys do the same. You can select the states, whether they're red, blue, whatever the number is going to be. What we predict is going to be the end tally when it comes to the Electoral College.
All 50 states are going to be blue.
I hope so.
Blue.
I hope so. But anyway, yes, do that. All right. Trish, you have something that you wanted to discuss. So tell us, darling, what do you have?
Oh, I have to go first, but fine, whatever. So speaking of the New Haven Pride Center, Pride and all that stuff, we've had events throughout the past week.
Mm-hmm.
And last week, we had Drag Story Hour at the Mitchell branch and the Ives branch of the New Haven Public Library. And I don't know how or why, but even in Connecticut, people are bigots and assholes.
Right.
So the libraries received a letter from concerned parents about having drag story time. Now, let me say, I went because of this letter. I went to the first one last Friday. Was it Friday? I think it was Friday. And it was glorious. There was probably about 25 kids, maybe a little bit more, all the parents, and they had such a blast.
Right.
Hearing the story from Sparkle, who was the drag queen doing the storytelling. And I'm sitting there why the hell? It's a free public library. If
Right.
you have a problem with it, don't fucking bring your kid.
Exactly. But that's the issue that we're seeing, right? More and more we're seeing, people just really being dicks about,
Public library events or just even in schools, period.
right.
Yeah.
And, it's sad that this is, the kind of thing that we have to put up with. But,
Yeah, so-
and then out of all places in Connecticut, right?
Yeah,
Where we
well,
don't think
Connecticut's
things like
getting
this.
weird.
Yeah. It is.
So I'll share the letter with everybody. So we are writing as residents of New Haven, patrons of the New Haven Free Public Library, and foremost as parents in response to partnership of the New Haven Free Public Library and the New Haven Pride Center to host drag storytime this week at Ives and next week at Mitchell branches. We'd like to highlight the mission statement of the library. A place that fosters lifelong learning, inspiring curiosity, and builds community through shared access to resources, experiences, and opportunities for all. We fully agree with this mission, especially that it is in place for all peoples from different faiths, cultures, identities, politics, etc. But in order for it to truly be this, that means it needs to be a neutral space. Pause.
Neutral.
What the fuck does that mean? It needs to be a neutral space. That's not true.
That's not true.
They don't have to take a political stand, but they can totally host a drag
Of course they can.
fucking
And
story
whoever
hour.
wants to bring their kids can bring their kids. And if you don't want to and you don't agree with it, don't go to the fucking library that day.
So it has to be a neutral space where no one organization is brought in to promote its ideologies, especially to the youngest of our children. The ideas and agenda of the New Haven Pride Center are in complete contrast to our own, especially in how they repeatedly aim to sexualize the youngest of our children. Therefore, they are not neutral nor universal in their ideology. Just as no religious or political leader is given a platform to promote their ideas in a public library to any age, the New Haven Pride Center should not be allowed to do so, either, especially to our 0 to 5 years old children. If people of the LGBTQ plus community, such as Sparkle A. Diamond or Tiki Malone, want to come to the library to access resources, experiences, and opportunities like everyone else, we agree to that. But when there are leaders of children's events in children's space of a library and celebrate as role models, we find that unacceptable. These two persons dress and act in, this is where it gets crazy. These two persons dress and act in a way that is exaggerated and sexualized stereotype of women that we as women, spouses and friends of women, and parents of daughters find offensive. Just as a person dressed in blackface,
oh my God,
would not be allowed to lead an event in the New Haven Free Public Library, if not outright denied access to the space, so too should people dressed in woman face. I'm gonna pause for a minute.
They are comparing blackface
to woman face,
quote unquote woman face.
Mm-hmm. I've never heard that before, that term.
Well, that's because they're creating the term, but
first of all, I want to point out
that's comparing apples to a fucking bowling ball, you dumb
yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck?
You're a fucking dumbass.
First of all, I want to point out that both of these individuals live in an area of New Haven that is prominently LGBTQ+.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The Westville area of New Haven is very LGBTQ+ friendly. The culture, the people, the businesses. So you're barking up the wrong tree. Now, something struck me in this letter, and I want to highlight it. So this is where they say, we'd like to highlight the mission statement of your library, a place that fosters lifelong learning and inspires curiosity. So to these two individuals, let me break that down for you. So first and foremost, lifelong learning doesn't necessarily mean educational, right? You don't experience lifelong learning in an institution of education alone. Lifelong learning means that you have to go out into the community. You have to face people that you may or may not agree with that allow you to grow as a human. Right? And for you to sit there and say that these children should not be exposed to drag queens is really inhibiting their opportunity to take the information that they've gotten, what they've learned, their experiences, who they're exposed to, and actually help them become the people that, you know, they eventually will become based on their own experiences. What you're doing as a parent is taking your ideology, if you really want to talk about that, and inflicting that on your own kids without knowing whether or not that's something that your kids are going to want when they grow up. And you're creating and raising bigoted children that have these ideals that are hurtful for them when they get to be adults. So yeah, no, lifelong learning is not just about things that you learn in institutional entities or in libraries or in any other fashion where education typically has a structure. It is about the experiences that you have in life that make you who you become in the end.
And the connections to people. I also think that, like, it's really important to note that, like, when we look at what this letter says, the ideas and agenda of the New Haven Pride Center are in complete contrast to our own. Fine. But I would like to, you know, ask, what is the agenda? Because the agenda to me is supporting LGBTQ people in general, both youth and adult.
Right. Is that you, me?
Both youth and adult, but also like providing services that are like so vital for the community. And on top of that, doing a drag story hour is just fun.
It is.
You can have your own ideology, your own opinions of whatever, but it is a public library. Don't go.
Exactly.
There are plenty of other free events. I mean, the Schubert hosts events at the Stetson branch all the time.
Right.
Like, don't go to an event that you feel offended by or you feel is going to challenge your child. But at the end of the day, if your child is a part of the LGBTQ plus community and they're seeking resources, the agenda of the Pride Center is to provide those resources.
Exactly.
So I don't know where this woman thinks just because the term pride is in the title of the organization means that we have a sexualizing agenda.
And that's the problem, right? Like when you think about people in general, and this has been true for decades. I mean, we're going back decades. You know, there's always been, you know, among straight folks, the idea that, you know, being gay is in a sense being a degenerate or being someone that, you know, molests children, and it's not true. I don't even want to get into that, but what I will say is that, you know, like you said, this is a public library. If you don't want your children to partake, don't bring them, but don't spoil it for anybody else. We are in the midst, right, of September's National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, right? And it's people like this that try to restrict access to the many beautiful things that life is, the exposure to being able to know what is out there, so that when you grow up, you have the people, the chosen family or your family that supports you, the network of services that are available to support you, to know that you are valued, that you belong in this world.
But also part about being a neutral space is allowing conversations and access for all communities.
Well,
right?
clearly she thinks, you know,
well,
that's not neutral alone.
No,
enough.
The only part I will agree with is when it comes to the fact that it is supposed to be a neutral space, right? So political agenda should not be there, right? So if, say, the mayor wanted to host an event at the New Haven Free Public Library, he probably shouldn't. But like being neutral and supporting all communities is completely different. It's not a political statement. Does the New Haven Pride Center have a political leaning? Sure, of course. It's a LGBTQ plus center.
Right.
But
the reason why we have one is because
that narrative.
Right. Well, as a 401c organization, 501c organization, you're not allowed to, you know, put out their information about political stances in general.
Or contribute.
No organization can do that. That is a 501c, right? Am I correct in saying that statement?
Yeah.
Right. And so therefore, you know, what you promote is what you stand for. The Pride Center is a place to nourish and, you know, take care of those that are part of our community. And we offer, when I say I'm a member of the Pride Center in the sense that I donate and support their efforts and what they do. They're there to provide our community with resources for people who need to, you know, I mean, Jay, you were a social worker for many years, and, you know, you, out of all people, know how important it is for you to have resources in those communities, in those vulnerable communities where people need it.
And don't forget, I also co-directed the Center Youth Program at the New Haven Pride Center when it was on Fitch. It takes a lot, because sometimes this kind of riles me up, and I just want to turn into a trucker and just curse.
Right.
Right. The ignorance, the pure ignorance, and the way that, you know, the comparison is not even close for starters, you know. And then I'm reading the rest of it, and, you know, we look to hear from you, so we can discuss this in person. What was it that you were saying? Stop hosting their events in this place.
Yeah,
should be neutral. I'll
finish it out
full
for
of
you.
Shit. It's just finish it so I can.
As residents and therefore taxpayers of New Haven, we do not want taxes to support events in a public space that are inappropriate and offensive to some of the community. Therefore, we ask you to end the partnership with New Haven Pride Center and stop hosting their events in a space that should be neutral. We look forward to hearing from you, as we would be delighted to meet with you and discuss in person how to truly make our libraries a place welcome and safe for all, especially for our children. So hold on, time out. So welcome and safe for all.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't marginalize a community and say welcome and safe for all, and then as
welcome and safe for some.
There you go.
Come on.
There you go.
Let's be obvious about this. And this reminds me of, you know, in light of recent events, school shootings.
Right.
Have you seen the memes going around of the kids hiding under a desk and the school's full of bullet holes?
No.
And they're like, at least we're safe from drag queens.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and you know what I'm saying? And this is exactly where this took me. This is exactly where this person's mindset is at. You know, it's asinine. You know, And you have to keep in mind, you know what? When you're
So here's
USA.
Well, I
USA.
want to just address one
Yeah.
more thing. I think that it's important for these bitches to know something. So your tax-paying dollars are actually not going in, maybe in some ways to support the event because it is paying for salaries that, you know,
library, yeah.
at the library. But the event itself, that's all supported by, you know, grants and work and like
Right.
through different foundations. It's not coming from your fucking pocket.
And here's the other thing. So
But
the
this-
library
yeah,
has their
this
own
is-
operating
this is
hours,
what I'm
right?
talking about. You're talking out your ass.
Right. The library has their own operating hours, and story time happened within the operating hours of the library. So it's not like the library had to like open the library at a special time to host story time because it happened during their normal business hours.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? So tell me what tax dollars, aside from what the New Haven Pride Center collected and used to organize such event in a public space, I must add, did it cost the library?
Well, what I will say is that the storyteller was paid, but that payment is through a different program, not state tax dollars.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't come from the library. It came from the people who organized the event. So the library really didn't pay for anything other than provide a space. And it's just ridiculous, right? And then the other observation too is like that it so happens that the both individuals that actually submitted this letter.
Well, it's not just two. Did you scroll down?
Oh, there's more. So
Yeah, there's 37 signatures.
Oh well, I don't see
I just see two.
I just see two.
Oh, sorry, the whole PDF isn't in there.
No. So, but interestingly enough, the very first two that you see there, both same last names. Both are parents of two kids under 6. They both have the same last name. So it leads me to believe, okay, is this a same-sex couple?
Or sisters? Who knows?
Or a sister with 2 kids, both under 6? The identical description, same last names, just different first names. Which it wouldn't matter. I mean, that's not the point. The point is that this letter is disturbing, nonetheless. And it just, for real, like, come on, people.
I want to get Jay's final thoughts.
Yeah. Jaybird.
He was getting heated there for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta. Well, again, we're in a month of recognition, right?
Right.
Within the LGBT community, suicide prevention. Obviously, these individuals don't think forward.
We're not going back.
We're not going back.
And you know, it's just it enrages me when I see shit like this. You want to make choices for your children because they're minors and they're under a specific age range.
That's your prerogative.
That's your prerogative. It's all you. It's all you.
Don't impose.
Yeah, don't impose, don't push, and it's not like it was a surprise. You're here. This is happening. It's announced. So if it's announced and you don't agree with it, then don't fucking show up.
Exactly.
Period. End of story. End of story. So you're worried that this is gonna impact your children. Why are you still gonna show the fuck up because it's a free library? So now you're just antagonizing. You know, so this is what I see people like this doing. They'll show up on purpose.
Well, I think
So they can stand around and complain and bitch to the administration as to how upset and enraged they are.
So
because they have nothing better to fucking do.
yeah, so that's why I went.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh God, if people show up, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be there to support and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I find, and I'm sure we could probably find studies or whatnot,
Yeah.
but I find that a drag story hour is probably more beneficial to a child than the parent who is imposing their negative beliefs on said drag story hour,
Right.
because that child is growing up in that circumstance who will then have those beliefs and those thoughts and concepts thrust upon them, which ultimately not only affect that child,
Right.
but then every other child they interact with growing up.
Of course. Right. And, not to mention, as I said before, their emphasis on lifelong learning to me is like, you're really inhibiting your children from experiencing all that the world has to give, so that when they grow up, they can make informed decisions as adults as to, how the world around them is going to be shaped by their experiences. And if you're prohibiting them from, being exposed to a drag queen story hour, they're not going to ever know what a drag queen is, and have ill-informed or ill, how would I say, parent imposed definitions and basically you're literally preventing your children from having the ability to self-determinate, right? Which is crazy.
Empathize and care for other people.
And understand that the world is huge and that there's different kinds of people that exist all over.
But also, in a circumstance like that, you're creating a situation, and we keep going back to the fact that it's National Suicide Prevention Month.
Right.
You're creating a situation that you're actually inflicting damage on your child if the rhetoric is out. If rhetoric like this is shared within the household and not just in this letter, you're inflicting shame on that child. And when you inflict shame on a child that may or may not experience feelings of, or may not be thinking about the LGBTQ plus community, or may eventually, being a part of it or whatnot, that shame is so deeply ingrained that that's why fucking coming out is a thing, because it's like you're struggling to equate who you are with your fucking parents' beliefs, when in fact your parents should be instilling support and love and whatever it is you need to be a good human being, whether or not you are gay, trans, bi, whatever it is. Like, your parents should not be inflicting shame, a situation in which shame is bred or like stems from your childhood. What they should be doing is giving you the tools and the environment to grow and blossom as an individual, no matter what your preference is.
Right. I agree 100%. So, to the two individuals that, felt the need
37
or the 37, I keep saying two because that's all I see, to the 37 individuals that felt the need to, come out of your bigoted space and have the audacity to write such a letter.
Yeah, didn't win, bitch, because it still happened. Hello.
And it will continue to happen. Just go back under your rock, please. Yeah, but the thing is, they're only going to be madder and more pissed off when the world keeps evolving and it evolves in the right direction, right? In a space in where we can be inclusive, and there are going to be some mad, angry people banging their heads against walls inside their houses, and I hate to be them. Be like Sade. So Sade was a singer that, jazz singer, amazing.
Did you just try to make like a smooth transition?
Yeah, she's great. and the reason why I'm mentioning her is because she is the mother of a trans individual, and this woman is famous worldwide for her amazing vocals. Her performances have been legendary. Her music is amazing. And the fact that she's taken it upon herself to support her trans son and create a song that will be released shortly about her son, and creating a very trans-centric album that incorporates and brings in artists from the trans community to create this amazing body of work. It just goes to show you that, people like this are going to be super mad when things like this, these amazing things keep happening, and they're just going to have to, piss off, So I for one, am excited because I've always loved her as an artist. I have thought, in the 90s she was amazing, and I cannot wait for the album to come out. So, yeah.
Can I say one thing about that? I just want I really appreciate the thought and the work that's going into this album. What I would challenge mainstream media artists to do is not wait until it affects you.
Right. Well, I'm sure that everybody has their journey. You know?
No, of course. But like, find ways to be supportive whether or not your son or daughter is trans or gay or bi.
Right. Well, I mean, when you think about, for example,
politicians that flip the script.
Right. Well, look at Gabrielle Union and her husband, right, and their support of their trans child. It's been
it's beautiful,
very transformative, and you know, it is often said, and I think it was Tony Ferriello that said it on the show, is like what a lot of people don't realize is that when someone comes out, your family comes out with you. Those that you come out to also come out with you, right? There's a shift, there's a transition, and changes, and so there is no doubt. I agree. You shouldn't have to wait until something happens to you personally to.
And I'm not trying to say that to be like negative. I'm just saying I would empower people to.
Right. Even with or without.
Just because.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think that
I think it's great.
Right. So when you see something like this happen, for example, this is something that impacted her, and she wants to be able to make her child feel special, included, part of her world, and have her be part of their world, and find a way to bring awareness all at the same time, having the voice that she does and the power, and how would I say the exposure and the ability and platform to be able to do that is also good. But I agree that you shouldn't have to wait for that to happen. But I agree more people should really do that. But I'm proud of her, because
yeah, me too.
It's very hard. It's very hard to be who we are, to be members of our community, and see all these things happening when for a moment there we thought we were in a rocket out to space. We were going to reach the moon, almost get to Mars, and and then dump happened.
Yeah.
And so, well, it is what it is. All right, ladies and gents. I think that is all we have that we can fit in today's show. So I'm going to, of course, toss it over, unless you have anything else you'd like to add.
Actually, today I'm good.
Oh, my God. I'm going to celebrate that. All right. Well, I'll toss it over to you. I'm going to give you some love. You know what to do.
All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, what losing my dog taught me about how queer people love their pets. Number 2, trans prisoners in Idaho can get hormone therapy again after major win in federal court. Number 3, lover of men finally explores just how gay Abraham Lincoln actually was.
But do we really know? I want to read that. I want to find out. Jaybird.
Alrighty then. On this day in gay history, the year was 1992 here in the good old US of A.
Yes, queen.
First public action by the Lesbian Avengers. Okay.
Interesting.
Avengers Unite. The Lesbian Avengers, a direct action group committed to visibility and survival, chooses to target the right-wing attempts to suppress a multicultural curriculum called Children of the Rainbow. The group gathers in Queens with an all-lesbian marching band.
As they should.
Yep, parading through the streets to a local elementary school where members hand out lavender balloons and flyers.
Nice.
You see, you 36 people.
37.
That's what 37. That I keep fucking it up. 37 people. That's what's gonna happen. You're just gonna, you're gonna fire up the bass, and people are just gonna get energized and go out and just sort of rain on your parade.
The Westville 37. Alrighty then. So I guess we're moving. I guess we're moving on to our announcements. So here we go. Let's hope I don't fuck this up today. I love you. If you love the show,
too,
make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service, of course. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
That's queen.
All right, really quick, I forgot to mention Teacher, which is a new show on Apple TV. I believe it's on Hulu.
I just saw the.
It's so fucking good. I watched the pilot. check it out. The teacher is gay, faces a lot of shit in the beginning of the episodes because he comes out and all this stuff. But it's really good. I'm excited to see how it unfolds, but check out Teacher. All right. Anyway, next week is a very special week, an emotional one. So it's suicide prevention. It's National Suicide Prevention Month, and my college boyfriend's aunt, Maureen Crick Owen, will be joining us to talk about an initiative that she started back in 2020 to help with suicide prevention, not only in the LGBTQ plus community, but in general. And I'm really excited to have her sit with us and chat about the work that she's doing. And obviously, we all know why suicide prevention is very important to her, as well as myself and the people around this table. So.
Right. So I will say this. It is a warning. It can and most likely will be a very emotional episode. So for those of you that are triggered,
gonna be messy
by emotions and crying and hard truths and stories, listen carefully. Just be cautious. But I wanted to throw that out there because it could be, it could be a trigger for some people. Maybe something you're not ready to hear or listen to, and
you might not be ready to listen, so you might want to skip.
Yeah,
right.
So we might be down to one listener, but I will not be here.
That's
unfortunately. I have other duties. Unless we change to Wednesdays. No.
Well, we can't next week.
We can't next week.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
But we'll be almost there. All right. Well, Trish, you can speak firsthand on this.
Let me wrap it up. All right, everybody, get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum. You can take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs. And now increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit. Trish approved. And get all the information you need with Dr. G's book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
Yeah. And I will say, don't be disappointed if the first size just falls out. It's okay. No shaming. Go for the medium size or for the largest size.
I would push everybody to start with a smaller size first.
Yeah. No, but if it falls out, just don't be disappointed in yourself. That means you're good. It means you've been working at it. That means you've gotten some good dick. It's okay.
It's been 84 years.
No, it hasn't. You had a reset. Like
Picture it,
6 months ago.
Sicily, 1942. I love that. Oh boy. Okay, I guess it is time to put a cage on it.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Are we going back to?
we're going back to my stuff. Let's go.
Okay.
Our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio. Nick?
All right. You can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. Email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, try to get through it.
Don't fuck it up. All right. If you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located right at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us any questions you might have on our voicemail. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all of those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget, we are streaming live currently for the next few weeks on Monday for all of our Patreon supporters to watch the show live and in color as it's happening. And we encourage you to go and sign up and support. My name is Tom. These are my beautiful people around this table. It's been wonderful. Ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you and have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.